Welcome everybody to another episode of Command Combat Battle Reports. Today we come from Emerald Knights in Burbank to play X-Wing, and we have a rebel force of a couple slightly larger ships flown by Chewie and Dash, and the Imperials have a shuttlecraft with a TIE fighter and a tie-interceptor. Let's let the players explain a little bit more.
My name's Maximilian Mitcher. I'm going to run a shuttle, Sunterfell with all the trimmings, and a TIE fighter with wingman to try and give my shuttle a little more maneuverability because they are the space cows.
John Higgins. I am a music teacher full-time when I'm not playing X-Wing. And today I am running a Dash Chewie build. I've sort of been playing around with running two YTs, the 24 and the 18, sometimes with Han, sometimes with Chewie, pretty much always with Dash. Just been a fan of his since he came out, and I like the two-ship build. Today's was sort of a change up with putting Chewie in and bringing him up to Dash's level with the VI, and I put Recon Specialist on him this time because I like, oh no, that's on Dash. I don't remember what I put on him. And pretty much right now, he's got Soontir on the board, which I'm never quite a fan of. So I might try and go after him a little bit, although the Omicron shuttle with Mauler hanging in there and running with it, it's kind of got me two different directions. I think I'm going to sort of see what direction he flies and take out the closest target.
So the players are setting up over this mat of the Death Star. Somehow I guess its gravitation has pulled in a few asteroids, so they're going to have to dodge around that, and some debris as well. The debris actually works a little differently than the asteroids. They're both setting up on opposite corners of the table, so they're going to have a lot of distance to go at each other. The TIE fighter and the shuttle have made sharp turns to the right, and it looks like the tie-interceptor is going to go forward, while Dash and Chewie are just going straight at them. The shuttle and the TIE fighter are going to turn to face the rebels, and the interceptor is now going to try to go catch up with them. They trade a few shots, and it looks like the shuttlecraft took a little bit of a hit, but the shields will absorb it. The shuttle and TIE fighter turn left, and so does Dash, bringing their broadsides to each other. Dash will probably have the advantage on that one. And the Falcon has gone right into the face of the shuttle. That's going to be bad news for that shuttle. The interceptor, meanwhile, is flying way around their back. It has not been very useful in this fight so far. In fact, it seems to be kind of missing it. However, it does get a shot in on Dash, which Dash manages to dodge. The Falcon, the shuttle, and the TIE fighter trade shots, and the Falcon gets the better of it, knocking down the shuttlecraft's shields. Dash swings around the periphery, and the interceptor swings back around to take on Chewie. Chewbacca and the shuttlecraft, meanwhile, have hit one another and are keeping each other stopped there. Apparently, it's also stopped the TIE fighter from moving. There are a lot of shots, but a lot of people are dodging, and nobody's managing to do anything to one another. And finally, the shuttle flies right by the Falcon. The TIE fighter also gets through, and with the traffic jam gone, Chewie is finally able to push forward, and Dash comes in on the other side. It looks like they're just about to hit now. The interceptor doesn't want to be part of a rebel sandwich, and he hurries right on by the Millennium Falcon. The trouble now, though, is that the Imperial has no shots, while the rebel player is going to be able to shoot with both of its ships. He uses it to fire the TIE fighter, getting a couple of shots, but those TIE fighters are nimble and he's dodging a lot of them. And it even gets a shot in on the Falcon. I hadn't noticed before that the TIE fighter had actually turned around. But now on to the next turn. The shuttlecraft is slowly making its way back around to get back into this fight. Chewie and Dash make sure not to hit one another. Chewie turns around and they get themselves lined up for an attack run here. Meanwhile, the interceptor is way out in left field, leaving the TIE fighter alone to take on both Dash and Chewbacca.
Those guys.
Muller's a beast.
There's the hits. And there's the misses.
But he is nimble and he dodges through those shots. The shuttle moves in to be part of this fight. The TIE fighter gets out of Dash's way, but after the rebel movement, it winds up between them once again. He is just always in the midst of trouble. The TIE fighter is left to Chewbacca, and he finally hits it and takes it out. It was a noble pilot, but his days of fighting for the Emperor are done. The shuttlecraft moves in on the Falcon, just barely avoids hitting it. The interceptor slips past Dash, but is now inside of the arc of both of those ships at close range. Chewie fires at the interceptor, doing a little bit of damage, but Dash actually goes after the shuttlecraft and hits it and takes it out of this game. The interceptor is now the only one left on the Imperial side, the only one there left to defend the Death Star. Chewie and Dash fly around the periphery, Chewie turning around so that he can face them. They get long-range shots and take him out. That was the end of the interceptor. The Imperials are taken down with the Rebels not even losing a single ship. That's a good list between Dash and Chewbacca. Well, let's see what the players had to say about this game.
So, when we were doing the startup for that game, I was originally planning on my Soontir to be on the far flank, but he set up his ships in such a way that he'd be covering that flank. So on the fly, I decided to move my Soontir next to my ships and try to just slow play it and see where I could go. He moved into the center, felt he had a pretty good angle to get onto Soontir and just travel behind him. So I just maneuvered my Soontir to try and start getting shots off, and then I inevitably fell to the turrets and the slowness of a shuttle. Just debris and the asteroids were getting in my way, and new as I am, couldn't pilot well enough to get around. And losing that heavy laser cannon really hurt. So.
Now Vader's watching over your shoulder. I don't think he's going to be too happy with you.
No, but I'm already dead. What more can you do?
Pretty solid game from my end. I think I made a couple flying errors, a couple bumps here and there. But I think I was able to rein in Soontir. He wasn't able to get too much in my flank. There were a couple times he got some auto thrusters. There were some crazy rolls that happened that on both sides. I think I got pretty lucky with some of my rolls towards the beginning of the game, and he got some pretty nice triple evades. But it was a fun match overall. I'm liking the list. I'm thinking I might bring something similar to regionals in July. That is if I'm having a kid in July, so we'll see what takes precedence. My guess is probably be spending a little bit of time with my son and not at the regionals, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can bring it to regionals and see how I do.
I think you might have pissed off Vader back there.
He's alright. He's a little stiff.
Well, that about does it for us here this week at Command Combat Battle Reports. Be sure to watch next week. Subscribe and tune into our many videos. Thank you for watching, and happy gaming, everybody!